What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we are going to be talking about Topps bringing a sport back to the industry, a monster memorabilia piece revealed at the National, and some major changes coming to the Panini Blockchain. Hit the like button if you enjoy this video, or if you're a new viewer, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. Now let's get into the show. Today's first story is, I guess it would be monumental news if I'm going to be honest, because Topps is bringing back a boxing set. And in all of their marketing and in all of the marketing that I saw from, big boxing companies, Danzone, Happy Punch, I believe is the other one, they were all saying that this is the first set since 1951. I looked into it and I couldn't really find any. So I'm guessing this, I'm not saying that they're lying, but this must be the truth. I couldn't find any boxing sets. So just a couple things just that I noticed from the set itself. It has Floyd Mayweather in there, Tyson Fury. It has a new rookie logo. It was like a fist with the rookie logo. So it looks like one thing that I was wondering as Topps was taking over all of these licenses was if they were going to use the same logo. So I would imagine that also means for basketball. Well, actually, you know what? For basketball, we have seen a new logo. For football, we've seen a new logo. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm saying it out loud, I realize that each of the sports has their own logo. And that was kind of something that I wondered if, like, how Panini has their rookie logo and it's basically the same across all sports. I was wondering if Topps was going to do the same thing with all the sports that they're bringing on. And I don't know. I mean, boxing for me is not like a sport that I really watch very closely at all, if I'm going to be completely honest. I know like Tyson Fury, I know, I guess Floyd Mayweather, I know Manny Pacquiao, but other than that, I don't really know many boxers. The last boxing match I actually watched, which I regret watching, was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, which was just a complete money grab joke, if I'm going to be completely honest, because like there was not really much action in that fight. And there was times, and I don't know, there was times where I thought Mike Tyson could have knocked Jake Paul out and he kind of held back a little bit. I don't know if that, maybe I'm not a boxing expert, clearly, as you can tell. But that was the last boxing match that I watched. And Jake Paul is actually going to be in this set. So this isn't going to be his first card. He's had cards, I believe, with Leaf in the past, but it is going to be one of his first Topps cards. So that, I guess, is a big deal. I mean, we talked about Logan Paul on either yesterday or the day before's podcast. So, there is going to be a new boxing set for Topps, which if you're a boxing fan, that should be pretty exciting. And I don't know, maybe it's going to get me into boxing. I don't really know, to be honest. One of, I think, the more impressive pieces that has ever been created by anybody, not even just a sports card company, but by any single person. So P. Ryan Collections put together a one-of-one that I truly do not think will ever be able to be replicated. It was a Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady, Lionel Messi, one-of-one autographs all on one sheet. So I think the story that I've heard, I've heard about this memorabilia piece for quite some time, and because I think I saw some video of someone signed it, and then it kind of got leaked, unfortunately, that this was going to be a piece that at the National it got unveiled, and I saw the video and it was given to Tom Brady. I'm not 100% sure if it was given to him for him to keep or for him to put into his collection that he has at one of the stores. But like I said, it is truly a one-of-one, and I don't really think that there's any possibility that anything like this will ever be created again. Sure, I saw people saying that they should have got Serena Williams on there and Michael Phelps and a couple other, goats of their sports, Tiger Woods potentially. But I don't think that, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think that something like this will ever be created. I mean, people didn't think that this one would even be created because they were like, how are they going to get Michael to sign it? How are they going to get Brady? How can you get all of these people to sign this type of item that like started with, it was just a Babe Ruth cut autograph. Well, not cut because it was on a piece of paper, but it was a Babe Ruth autograph, obviously, because he's the only one that isn't alive on that set. So you need to get something signed by him first and then kind of passed around. And then, like I said, it was unveiled at the National. And I think is just one of the more impressive feats in the sports memorabilia space. And one that I don't think a card company will ever be able to beat. Or a person, realistically. The last story that was put out by Panini, and I am going to try not to overreact or exaggerate here, but I think that Panini maybe potentially has saved their company. If I'm going to be completely honest, they announced that they're going to be working to get some of the NFTs, the Panini Blockchain NFTs, over to the Ethereum network. And if you don't know anything about NFTs, I mean, I'm sure probably at some point people have already, I said the word NFT, so I'm sure tons of people have clicked off this video, unfortunately. But if you don't know anything about NFTs, which within the sports card realm, we've seen, Topps and Panini both attempt to do NFTs. I think the Panini NFTs are probably better than Topps. Topps has done them on a couple different platforms, which I don't think is going to lead to a lot of success, unfortunately, with any like long-term sustainability with these collectibles. But also, here's the thing. Anybody who doesn't like NFTs or thinks the idea is stupid, I want you to take a step back. If you are vaulting cards or you're buying cards and putting them into a vault, I don't know how that's any different than an NFT. Vaulting cards, you are trading something that, technically the NFT doesn't have any physical assets to it, but it has a digital asset to it. And sure, with the sports card, there's a card involved. So that's obviously going to be a little bit of a difference. But you are trading, if you're trading on a vault or you're trading on whatever, ComC or eBay or anywhere, you're basically buying and selling NFTs. Like that's just, you're selling something digitally that has a physical asset behind it. But at the same time, you never touch that physical asset. So I think what this eventually is going to end up doing is it's going to expose the Panini NFTs to like a larger audience of people who, the Ethereum network is like the network for NFTs. And I know that maybe I'm saying a bunch of words that people don't really understand. But like, so the NFTs, they're tradable assets that you can buy and sell with crypto. And I know that, sure, there's been tons of projects that I don't think have gone well or they've gone badly, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I think overall, the idea of the digital asset is one that I don't think is going to go away. Like, I think that NFTs in general are very similar to the .com boom, like in the 90s. Like, sure, you're going to get like Amazon and you're going to get like eBay, but you're also going to get like pets.com and world.com and all these, companies that that were only popular because they were online and they were only selling well, their stocks were only high because they were online. It's similar with NFTs. Like at one point, NFTs, the only reason certain NFTs were popular was because they were NFTs. Like it was such an odd space. What this ends up doing is that it is going to introduce the Panini NFTs to an audience of people who are already familiar with cryptocurrency. And the big thing here for Panini is that once they move these over, so I don't know if they'll be sold on like OpenSea or any of the big crypto NFT websites, but what Panini will be able to do is they will be able to get a percentage of every transaction that goes through, because that's one of the things with NFTs that I think is very underrated, is that you can get 10% or 15% or 20% if you're crazy with each sale of an NFT. So like, in perpetuity, if any of the NFTs are selling, Panini will get some sort of cut of that. And I don't know if they're going to be able to retroactively set these things up where when they sell in the future, they'll be able to say, we were the original owners, so now we're getting a cut, because that also could be the case where once they get everything over to the other blockchain, they may not be able to set up these payments. But like if they are, it's going to be massive, and it's going to make buying and selling of these NFTs just a lot easier overall. And I think that is where I'm the most interested in this, to see how it goes, because in the crypto space, in the digital currency space, there's still opportunities, I think, for people who are collecting digital collectibles, because that's where we're moving towards. If you look at, and this is sort of my thought process and philosophy with crypto in general, or NFTs maybe, is like everything is happening online. And, your whole personality is online, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on these things, like these things are not owned, like you posting an image is then not owned by you. It's then owned by Instagram. So with NFTs, you are creating something that's owned by you. And whether it's Panini Blockchain or it's any other crypto projects, overall, that's just sort of where I see an interesting opportunity for anybody who is into sports cards, but also into cryptocurrency as well. That's all I've got for today's show. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next one.